G'day and welcome to the final edition of the Hockey One Shootout for 2022. I'm Simon Orchard. As always, I'm joined by Kate Allman and Adam Clifford. And guys, don't we scrub up all right? The official Shootout award show today. Kate, you look wonderful. I feel like Cliffo and I are heading off to court, and we've got our moustaches as well, which we've specially shaved in. Kate, maybe a little bit lacking in that area, but that's okay. Maybe next year. Look, either way, today, guys, we're going to tie a bow on the regular season of the Sultana Brand Hockey One League. We're going to give out a raft of awards. We've got MVPs, Rising Stars, Coach of the Year, Goal and Save of the Year as well. And we're also going to announce our All-Star 15 of the year as well across both men's and ladies' competitions. But before we do that, just a quick shout-out to everyone who's headed along to the games of the Sultana Brand Hockey One League season this year. More than 26,000 fans poured through the gates. To put that in perspective, around 15,000 showed up to watch the games in 2019. So a big increase. It's great to see. As I said off the top, we're going to hand out a swag of awards today. But before we do, let's take a quick look at the table and what happened in round 7. Kate, walk us through the women's side of things.
Yep, so Hockey Club Melbourne secured the minor premiership in what can only be described as a belting of the Tassie Tigers. 10-3 scoreline, that's a record for the women in Hockey One. Brisbane Blaze got through the finals by beating the Adelaide Fire, and New South Wales Pride edged out the Canberra Chill on Saturday in Park. So the top 4 are locked in. Can't wait for this weekend in Bendigo.
Yeah, amen to that. Cliffo, here's the men's ladder, and a quirk of the league, mate, sees New South Wales sneak in ahead of Tassie, which I know you're very disappointed about. Tell us more, mate. Can you explain it?
Yeah, somewhat controversially, the ladder has thrown the Hockey One rules really under the microscope, guys. As you can see here on screen, poor old Tassie have finished in 5th position and now missed the finals to the New South Wales Pride. And they were equal on points with the Pride and had a superior goal difference. So that's one of the unique elements of Hockey One, with the hierarchy for ladder positions being first points, then wins, that's regular time wins, and then it goes to goal difference. So it's pretty rough on Tassie. But reinforces that loss at home to the Chill was the nail in the coffin. And, you know, let's not go without mentioning, Orch, that poor old New South Wales Pride have limped over the line. You put the mockers on them and said that they'd go undefeated, and they've now lost 3 on the bounce.
Yes, not one of my finest calls, was it? Look, they'll be all right, I hope. Please, New South Wales, do something. That performance on the weekend was abysmal. But anyway, enough about that. Look, here's the fixture for the semi-final day of the main event in Bendigo. It kicks off this Saturday, November 19. On the women's side of the draw, Hockey Club Melbourne will take on the Brisbane Blaze in semi-final 1. Perth Thundersticks will tackle the New South Wales Pride in semi-final 2. Then on the men's side of the draw, the Brisbane Blaze will take on the New South Wales Pride, and then the Perth Thundersticks run into this season's surprise packet, the Canberra Chill. The winners of each semi-final advance to the grand final on Sunday. And if you want to see some of Australia's best hockey talent, you can still get tickets. Head to hockey1.com.au or go to Ticketek. Get your ticket and get on out to Bendigo. All right, it's that time to dig into our awards, and we'll kick things off with Coach of the Year. I'll announce this one, guys, so sit back and relax. The first of our honourable mentions. So these guys haven't won, but honourable mentions this year. Phil Burrows, the coach of Hockey Club Melbourne Girls. They won 5 of 6 to finish top of the table. Honestly, they look like the most complete team on the ladies' side, and Burrows seems to have found a really good balance between experience and youth. And it looks like he's cultivated an environment where numerous players have shone this year. So Phil Burrows, an honourable mention. The second of our honourable mentions goes to Pete Shea from the New South Wales Pride women. Last time the Hockey One season was played back in 2019, the Pride women came second last. They won 1 time for the tournament. I know 3 years is a long time between drinks, but to make a jump from 6th all the way up to 2nd is a nice achievement. And I reckon we've probably seen the most growth from a lot of these New South Wales young players across the league, the likes of Smith, Wilson, Young. They seem to have all thrived under Shea's tutelage. So an honourable mention to him. But the winner of Coach of the Year for 2022, it's Shea Onatiri from the Canberra Chill men's side. Not many would have picked this side to make the top 4 at the start of the season, let alone finish second. And guys, they've just built this success on stingy defence, and they've got an exciting flair in the attacking half as well. They only won 1 game in 2019. They've only lost 1 game this season, and that came against Brisbane in the opening round. I just love their style, their system, their structure. They seem to have a really steely resolve, but they're also quite calm. We've seen players like Ben Staines, James Day, Davis Atkin in particular have gone to a new level. And I reckon Shea Onatiri is a big part of that. He's also created really good roles for the likes of Ben Craig, Hayden Dillon, Gary Backus, we've seen him, the evergreen Gary Backus, playing some good hockey as well. And I reckon, most importantly, he's created a really good environment for Andrew Charter to thrive in the net. So Shea Onatiri, no one would have said this 7 weeks ago. The Canberra Chill, you can win the Sultana Brand Hockey 1 League, and you are our Coach of the Year for 2022.
All right, so I have the honour of presenting tonight a very important award, one of my favourites, the Women's Rising Star Award. Now, we've defined Rising Star as a young woman 21 or under who played Hockey 1 League this season. So, we have a couple of honourable mentions to give out. The first I'm giving out to Josie Lawton. Now, we've decided this as a group of 3 in the shootout. Josie has been outstanding all year. We're actually talking among ourselves how long it will be before people stop referring to her as Amy Lawton's sister and start referring to Amy as Josie's sister. But both of them is outstanding. Josie's been amazing in defence for the Hockey Club Melbourne side. Really shone from week 1 to week 7, so she gets an honourable mention. We also picked out one of my favourites from the Brisbane Blaze, Hannah Cullum-Sanders. She has been creative, skillful, fast. She's one of the fastest forwards I've ever seen. She has some amazing goals on her highlight reel this season and a well-deserving rising star. Definitely one to watch. She's already a hockey-roo. She is a huge star, rising star for us, honourable mention. But the winner, and there can only be one, is my other favourite, the Grace Young of New South Wales Pride. Grace Young, congratulations, well earned, and you can take a look at just a few of her highlights here that we'll put together.
Game, that'll be a moment highlighted because that's body on the line stuff. Stewart turns it for Young, who's drawing well-earned applause. Wow, look at this. Oh. Body save first.
And for the Men's Rising Star, which has been one of the fantastic treats of the Sultana Brand Hockey 1 League, is seeing all the young rising stars that we didn't know much about 7 weeks ago. And I've picked out 3 honourable mentions. Kai Willett, his 5 goals for the 21-year-old, and he was 100% from the field goal conversion. Just loved watching him on the ball. Campbell Geddes, 3 goals from his 4 matches. He's a key defender with a serious passing range and a lethal drag flick that we saw. He looks deceptively quick as well and ready-made for the international stage. And then Jack Hollywood Holland. What an excitement machine he was. He scored about half of the Fire's goals and was the reason that they pushed both New South Wales and Brisbane right to the wire. But there can be only one winner, and that is, guys, Davis Atkin from the Canberra Chill. What a breakout campaign from the defensive midfielder who showed his attacking flair as well. And his Hockey 1 performances have elevated him into the Borough's Junior World Cup qualifying team. And just as we catch his highlights here, I just loved his personal story and just can't fathom that he only took up playing hockey for the first time when he was 14 years of age. So imagine where he'll be in another 7 years, guys. Well done to Davis Atkin from the Canberra Chill.
All right, it's time for us to award our goal and save of the year. We'll start with save of the year. Gee whiz, there were some wonderful efforts this season. We're seeing some of them now. I reckon we've probably got one of the best crops of young goalkeepers across both men's and women's competitions for some time, guys. In the ladies, Renee Hunter, Alicia Power, Evie Dalton, they all showed that the cupboard isn't bare after Rachel Lynch's retirement. And in the lads, we've seen some big games from just about every keeper. Ash Thomas has had some big moments. Mitch Nicholson has been really solid. Johan Durst was under siege early on. He did his best to keep Hockey Club Melbourne afloat and in games. We even saw a great save from your mate, Grace Young, Kate, on the line there for the New South Wales Pride. But they were all trumped by this effort from the Canberra Chill shot stopper, Andrew Charter, against Jack Welch.
Just another reason why this league is one of the best and most exciting in the world. So one-on-one with the Kookaburra goalie, Charters, and Charters, I reckon, got a little touch on that. And then the kick away as time expires. And a nice raise of the stick from a man that's represented Australia on 209 occasions, Andrew Charters.
Well, he's up against the best now. Well,
look at that, falling away, the reverse save.
I just thought that was so elite, guys. I explained why during the season. But, Cliffo, you were there. What do you remember about that moment, about Charters' effort?
Yeah, I was there, and the Canberra Chill were on their haunches with that conversion opportunity, and I had the perfect line of sight pitch side as Jack Welch dragged left to right. I thought Charter was beating all hands back all hands up rather, and I just could not believe. I've never even thought that a goalkeeper could fling their stick around the back like that, and I can just remember the disbelief on the Tassie Tigers players' faces when that was saved.
Yeah, you're spot on, Cliffo. Let's move into goal of the year because there's been some absolute rippers this year. Look, Katie Daw, she set the standard early in the season with this superb backhand for the Canberra Chill. We saw Dane Richards did the same for New South Wales. Hannah Cotter and Nathan Ephraim, you couldn't keep them away from the goal. They popped up and got some really clever ones. Aaron Zalewski fluked one into the roof, and Kale Kramer, he was on hand to score in just about every game as well. But I don't think there was any doubt that this effort from Hannah Cullum-Sanders was by far the goal of the year.
And try to play it forward. Rosie Malone steals it away in the corridor. Cullum-Sanders now. Look at her go in open space. Looks up, sees three defenders and wants to go at all of them. A little nudge out in front of herself. Time to shoot. Oh, my goodness! That's the goal of the year. Etch it on the trophy now. Walk it down pitch side and hand it over.
Oh my goodness, Sam. We have just witnessed one of the greatest players. I told you I want Cullum-Sanders to do something special, and she's come out and done it. This is something special, that goal.
You're not supposed to be able to do that.
Wowee, Kate, I was so impressed with that goal. You were in commentary on that occasion with Sam, and Sam was going berserk. I could hear you in the background gasping as well. What was it like to call that?
Oh man, we nearly lifted the roof off in the studio there. It was unbelievable. Like, the first steal is amazing, then runs it up the field. That's also impressive. She's got speed to burn. She takes on three defenders and you think, nah, okay, she's going to shoot. This is going to be saved. No chance. And then shoots it on the tomahawk from an impossible angle and scores. Unbelievable. The best goal I've ever seen. Best goal of the season for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Deserved winner, red hot. I'm not easily impressed, but when I saw that highlight, I put it on my Instagram because I loved it. Thought it was just brilliant from a really young and exciting talent. So congratulations, Hannah Cullum-Sanders, goal of the year, and Andrew Charter, save of the year. All right, here we go. Time for the big ones, the most valuable players. According to us, Cliffo, Kate and Orchard, the shootout, the MVPs of the league for 2022. We'll start with the girls, and Kate, you've got the honours. Take it away.
Well, Orch, this was a really hot contest. We had so many names listed as honourable mentions and potential winners. So here's just a couple of honourable mentions. We could only pick two, and they are very deserving, but I'll just add that there was so much talent. It was really tough to pick from. We've chosen Gabby Nance from the Adelaide Fire. She was on fire all season. I think we can all agree from the first moment she stepped foot on the pitch, everyone was rapt to get Gabby Nance back, especially after she retired from international hockey. She lived up to every part of the expectation on her and created opportunities for her team the entire way through the season. I think she was outstanding in the individual effort as well as team efforts. The other honourable mention, we have Shihori Oikawa, the smiling assassin at the back for Canberra Chill. Go near her and she'll grab the ball off you. She was season 1 MVP and she's lost no talent since then. She's still unbelievable and a real weapon for the Chill. Part of the reason why I think they came so close to finals with a relatively young team. She's just such a leader and seems to really enjoy playing with the team as well, which is nice to see. So there can only be one winner, and this was actually easier than picking the honourable mentions. This woman has won MVP in 3 matches of 6 that she's played, and noting you only get player of the match if you're in the winning team, and her team did lose 1. So she won 3 out of 5. Amy Lawton. She is on another level to every other woman in Australian hockey right now. I think she's the greatest. We all agreed it was a unanimous decision for this one. Amy Lawton, just take a look at some of these highlights. Congratulations to Amy.
After beating New South Wales in week 1. Oh, there's the fake and just the drag flick, but the ricochet and Amy Lawton cashes in. Right spot, right time. Big result against the flow of play. Hockey Club Melbourne.
Release is true. Lawton's away if she's clean. Needs a second touch. Assistance comes via the sideline. She goes herself though, Amy Lawton. Now forward.
And actually we'll get the free hit. So breezes past Gallagher and then the next right up to the D. Little feed is good. An opportunity opening up here. Nicola Hammond, I think. And, the finish came from Cotter.
Yeah, you're spot on, Kate. It wasn't really even close, was it? With all due respect to the rest of the competition, she, in our opinion, has been head and shoulders above the rest of the league, and she's still so young, which is the scariest proposition, that potentially she could be absolutely anything. So congratulations to Amy. From all reports, a very humble young girl as well. So well done to her. Hopefully she can have a big week in Bendigo. Cliffo, the blokes wasn't as straightforward. How about you tell us who's been crowned the men's MVP for 2022?
Yeah, we were up late last night, weren't we, tossing and turning over this decision, guys, and mulling it over. But some honourable mentions. The first is the man that marshalled the heart of the defence for the Brisbane Blaze in Tim Howard. Just oozes class and gets better and better every time I see him play. Got a huge, huge future still for the Kookaburras, of course. And then another honourable mention for someone who came out of a little bit of left field. I know he's a development squad member, but I had no awareness of just how sharp a player Ben Staines from the Canberra Chill was. Just arrived on the scene to receive that James Day overhead on the byline and score an incredible goal. I loved his tomahawk goal cutting in from the right in another game. Just an excitement machine, but also works so hard for the Canberra Chill, as they all do. But like a fine wine, there could only be one MVP, and someone who's gotten better with age is certainly Andrew Charter in the net for the Canberra Chill. He's recorded the save of the year, and it's a bit of a rout, isn't it, in these awards for the Chill. But he had a record of 6 games with 3 clean sheets, and in another, you just knew that once they took the Tassie Tigers to a penalty shootout, what the final result was going to be. Here's some clips of Andrew Charter at his absolute best, guys. An elite performance from the man in the net. So Andrew Charter is our MVP for season 2022.
Gets past a couple. Now the cross. Oh, right on the line. Just scrounged out of there.
Do it.
Here's a steal to open up the one-on-one. Only the goalkeeper to beat. The turn. The save from the best in the world at the caper. Along the baseline, surging into the circle. Oh, it's right there to be hit. And it was flicked away by Charter and then kicked away by Charter.
This time he stepped a little more to the left and was able to save.
To tie it up, Jeremy Edwards on the second go. Denied once, denied twice, and somehow the Canberra Chill have stolen.
Yeah, well done to Charts. I know he'll be smiling at home watching the Hockey One shootout when he sees this, whenever it goes to air. But well done to him, to Amy Lawton, to all the other award winners as well. That wraps up our individual awards. On the other side of this, we'll be doing our All-Star 15, the best 15 players across both men's and women's competitions this year. Welcome back to the Hockey One shootout. We'll finish today's episode and our final episode of the season with the All-Star 15, the 15 best players in our eyes across the Sultana brand Hockey One season for both men and women. And Cliffo, we'll start with the boys. Talk us through some of these picks, mate.
Yeah, look, Orch, some phenomenal players there on your screen. Wouldn't you love to be coach of this side, putting it together? Back line with Howard Weir, Dylan Martin, who's been phenomenal, and James Day. You know, Ben Craig, poor old Ben Craig, squeezed onto the bench. And then look at that elite midfield with Atkins, Zaluski, Wetton, Josh Belts, and even the great Eddie Okinen can't find himself onto the field in the starting lineup. So goals, there's class, oodles of it all over that lineup. Probably Joel Rintala's a little bit controversial, his omission, but we just need to see a little bit more in, I guess, general field play, which probably holds true for Jack Holland as well. And then Dane Richards was just edged out by such an elite midfield, Orch.
Yeah, quality side. I know you were pushing hard for Eddie Okinen. We had a long debate over whether or not he should sneak his way in, but he's a champion. And he was a good player for Tassie this year. Kate, you got any thoughts on the boys' side before we shovel over to the girls?
Look, just outstanding lineup for starters, but also I'd be interested to see how these guys would play together. Obviously, Kramer and Ephraim's both goal-scoring machines. Imagine them two being on the forward line together. Would it be chaotic goal after goal, raining goals, or would one of them sort of step forward and feed the other? I don't know, it'd be interesting to see. I also love the game of Weir all year. I think his overheads have been the best of the entire league. He just drops them on a dime, and he's a really strong defender. So he's one that's really caught on my radar this year as well.
Yeah, I agree. That's all I would add, that Corey Weir's had a pretty good season. For someone that's sort of found himself on the periphery of the Australian side the last year or year and a half, it's good to see him back in some form. And I think we've mentioned Davis Atkin already, but the fact he's surrounded by the likes of Zalewski, Wet, Knockett and Belts goes to show just how impressive he's been for us. I can't believe the junior Australian selectors lost his number, but I'm glad he's back in the fray and it's wonderful to see. Let's move over to the girls because, again, some very robust debate, some late night chat and messages between us trying to work this team out. Kate, why don't you tell us who shone for you the most?
Well, of course, there's Amy Lawton. That was actually a very easy choice. As we said, MVP. She's shone all year, but the midfield was a really tight contest, as it always is. We've put in Nance, Young, Lawton, Grace, another star. Comerford and Sumfest, both really great players. I think they've been strong all year. They were just edged out, but they're on the bench, so well done to them. Now, interestingly, the forward line is a different one as well. So we've got Grace Stewart, who is the league's leading goal scorer. She's got 8 goals, but next to her, she's got her teammate, Abigail Wilson. Now, you might say she's a bit of a quieter forward in that she's only got 2 goals on the scorecard all season, but I think we've all agreed that she's a really great team player, and it's what she does off the ball that impressed us the most, setting up other opportunities to score. And I mean, if Grace Stewart's getting 8 goals, someone's got to be setting her up. So I think Abigail Wilson has had a huge amount in that. She's also got a really powerful drag flick, so she's well earned her spot there in the forward line.
Yeah, I agree. You need someone to do the grunt work. They can't all be up there prima donnas knocking in the goals and celebrating. I think, Wilson does that in spades. What about for you, Cliffo? Anyone that stood out?
Well, I just think that we could have picked nearly a whole team of goalkeepers because they've been so phenomenal this whole league. I thought Comerford's back half was equal to anything that Tiger Woods has ever produced. And I just love the performance of Panacotta, as we call her in the Clifford household. Hannah Cotter, I think, added an extra element to the HC Melbourne's forward line. And I just couldn't quite get Maddie Radcliffe off 30 minutes of game time in. But, gee, she was impressive as well.
Yeah, and again, a good representation across the league this year in the ladies. For me, it was Carly James. I think we talk about underrated players, someone that just does their job week in, week out, is an emerging force as a wing half or a defender. And they don't get a lot of plaudits. There hasn't been a lot of man of the matches come from the back half so far this season. But for her, I know Phil Burrows has a high opinion of her, and she's already been identified as a potential hockey room in the future. So good on her for making it in. They are our all-star 15 sides for the 2022 Sultana Brand Hockey One League. Well, that's it for the shootout for this year, and I think I speak for the three of us when I say we've really enjoyed talking hockey each and every week. We hope everyone watching along at home has as well. A special thanks must go to Scotty Edwards and the socials team who do a ton of hard work behind the scenes. They are the glue behind these three faces that are trying desperately to steer this ship around. They've done so much hard work. So well done to you guys. As for you, Pear, thanks to Kate, thanks to Cliffo. Before I let you go, after 8 decent episodes, I want to tip who's going to play in the final of both men's and women's competitions and who's going to hold that trophy aloft on Sunday.
Well, I reckon, Orch, there's going to be an upset in the men's. The Brisbane players are not going to make the final. My call is it's going to be New South Wales Pride against the Perth Thundersticks, and the Pride will do it again back-to-back. I think they're going to take home the trophy. In the women's side, I think Hockey Club Melbourne are unassailable. They're going to be in the final for sure. I think they'll win it, but they'll come close to New South Wales Pride beating them. I think the Pride women have been really great and peaking at just the right time. They've got a lot of momentum, but I just don't think that they can beat the strength and the absolute class of Hockey Club Melbourne.
What about you, Cliffo?
Well, I think Kate's tipping with her heart and not her head. I'm tipping the Brisbane Blaze to get through to the final and maybe face the Canberra Chill. I think the Chill against the Thundersticks looks like a really mouth-watering contest of semi-final action. And I think the Blaze, I'm going to stay stubborn to my pre-season prediction and tip the Blaze to win that one quite comfortably. In the women, I'm going with HC Melbourne. I just think the inclusion, the return of Maddie Radcliffe is just going to add an extra bit of X factor to their forward line. But I do think they'll take on the New South Wales Pride, who have really impressed me in recent weeks, Orch.
I'm sticking fat with my pre-season prediction as well. I reckon the New South Wales Pride men will finally put it all together and they will win back-to-back titles this weekend in Bendigo. As for the ladies, I'm tipping Hockey Club Melbourne to overturn their shootout loss from a couple of years ago. I reckon they'll beat New South Wales in a shootout in the girls. Anyway, good luck to everyone going to Bendigo. Travel safe. Have a good time. Until next year, hooroo. Well, that's it for the shootout for this year. And I spink.
We're going well.
We'll never get there. I just don't think it's ever going to end.
We don't want to leave. 3, 2. Oh, come on, mate. Hey. Come here. Quick. Come here. Come here. Good boy. Good dog. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1.